Welcome to UPLIFT, inspiring stories to uplift the world. I am Gemma Serenity Gorokov, your host, and today, coming from Canada, we have Jen Lynn Farkas. Jen is a intuitive mindfulness mentor for women and mothers based in Canada. As a passionate advocate for women empowerment, Jen offers transformative mentoring for women and mothers so that they can find the peace and balance they crave, enabling them to live their most authentic and fulfilling lives. Whether it's navigating motherhood or life in general, Jen is committed to supporting her clients every step of the way. After years of studying homeopathic medicine and running a business focused on optimal well being through natural remedies and holistic nutrition, Jen turned her attention to yoga, receiving certifications as a yoga teacher, ritual guide, and yoga nidra instructor. She also completed training as an essential oil specialist, enabling her to empower others to harness the potent emotional and physical support properties of essential oils for themselves and their families. With her Awakener certification and mindfulness coaching certification, Jen is equipped to guide her clients in living a life that is authentic to them. She is part of an intuitive mastermind, developing her skills and abilities to provide intuitive guidance to her clients. When she's not working with clients, Jen loves spending time with her family out in nature. She's also an avid singer, writer, and explorer, and enjoys traveling, reading, and connecting with others in her community. And as a little insider trick, just letting you know, she has such a smooth, warm, and delicious voice that is embracing you in a way that rare people can do.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jen, for joining us today. I would like to ask you a question when I was reading your bio. You mentioned a lot about motherhood. What is your motherhood journey?
Oh, such a great question because it has been so expansive for me, becoming a mother. And it really has informed a lot of what I do now in service to others. So I would say my motherhood journey began in a lot of uncertainty. And so I had met a partner who, I fell for right away. He's an incredible man. But on our very first date, he informed me that he didn't want to be a father and that he never wanted to have children. And so at the time, I just sort of, you know, listened and I wasn't 100% sure what my thoughts around motherhood were. So we just continued on dating, developing our relationship, and as it deepened, I started to feel this really intense calling to become a mother. And this brought up a lot because we had talked about from the very beginning how it wasn't in his plan. And for myself, I had never felt a feeling like this before. Like I'd never felt so pulled towards something with all of my being. Like I was used to thinking about doing something and yeah, I'm going to go for it. But this was like a full body, I want to be a mother. And so I became very nervous that this was going to end our relationship. I knew that I wanted to be with him, but I knew that I wanted to be a mother. So here were these two conflicting desires. And so I got up the courage to share exactly how I was feeling. And I was able to step into that courage because it was just such this innate feeling like I had to be a mom. It wasn't like, oh, I'll see what he says. And it was like, no, this is the next thing for me. Got up the courage we had a conversation, and he was um, very empathetic, listened to exactly, um, everything I had to say. And he responded in a way that was very unexpected. He kind of took it all in and said, okay, I'm really going to think about this. And I was floored because I assumed that it would be, this is not what I want to do. And it would be a whole really tough conversation. But there was also something inside of him that, had started to change his mind along the course of our relationship. So he took a few days, and I remember we were on just a little stroll through the forest, and he just said to me out of nowhere, I want to be a father. And this was like, wow, this was so exciting to me because I knew he would be an incredible father. So that was stage one of this journey, because of the fact that he knew he didn't want to be a father. He had had a vasectomy about 20 years prior. So making the decision to start a family for us was just the beginning of many obstacles that would arise. So it was an exciting start, but we knew we would have to face a few things together to build this family.
It's absolutely stunning as an experience. Thank you for sharing that. That means that it's not because at first sight someone says no kids whatsoever without a actual history of physical or mental illness that would really say no, I am not going to put to the world someone as crazy as my whoever in the family tree was completely out of shape, out of work, out of health. It's really something that was deeply ingrained in him in the sense of, okay, it is a choice, but it was not a choice rooted in health, clearly. Otherwise, he wouldn't shift his mind when listening to you and really understanding where you come from and joining you on that path of parenthood. And that is love from him. That is loving you and joining you where you are at that moment in time.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. And it was really eye-opening for me because I had accepted that the result of me sharing this was going to be the end of our relationship. So it was a really
Mm,
big lesson for me in the importance of, communicating your true desires, and the importance of not having that judgment going into something so big. Um, and so it really opened my eyes to sort of um, realizing that you can't always know what someone else is thinking or feeling. And so it opened up a lot in our relationship, I think, that point. So yeah, it was a
mm.
really, a really beautiful moment.
So, how did your parenthood journey continue from there?
Yes.
I would say start.
Yes.
So the first agreement, let's have a family together, let's have children together because we love
Yes.
each other. So you said 20 years of relationship later, this
So
is when
no,
that happened?
we had just been together for a little bit over a year.
Ah,
But
okay,
he had had a vasectomy 20 years prior.
this is what
So
you
we
said. Okay, got
knew
it.
right away that if we were going to do this, it was going to have to be a process that we'd start with our doctor, and we didn't really know how it was going to unfold. So it actually was really lovely. We didn't have to wait a long time to see a fertility specialist.
Mm-hmm,
Um, but we were presented with two options, and the one was we could try a reversal of the
mm-hmm,
vasectomy, but the chances of it working were very, very slim because of the length of time. And the other option was just to proceed with the IVF. And we were both in the state of mind that this was something that we wanted to do now. We weren't really interested in trying something that wasn't guaranteed, the reversal, and then having to go through it all again. So we said, you know what, we're just going to go with what we feel will be has the best chance for success. So yes, and I was terrified. I was really, really scared of the actual process. Like I had a lot of fear around having to, do the injections every, fairly regularly. I was worried about, taking the time off work because I had to have, you've got your appointments that are scheduled for a reason. And so it was a very fearful time for me, but at the same time, I knew that this desire that I had would be carrying me through and I would be able to feel that fear, but was moving towards something that you know, um, I've wanted more than anything in my life. So it was a really interesting experience to me because these fears that would come up, I was just moving through them in a different way than, perhaps I had in the past. So we started the process and it took a village because I relied on my mom for a lot of support. I relied on my parents to support me when my partner was working, my friends. Like it was a whole um, community effort, and that
Mm-hmm.
which I'm so grateful for, because anyone who's going through the journey, I see you. It affects many aspects of your life, and so um, stepping into that uncertainty is a huge step and a very brave step. And so we continued with the process, just holding that hope in our heart that at the end we would have a family. And we ended up with 5 embryos
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the process. And we thought, oh, great, hopefully we'll be able to freeze an embryo. And perhaps if we want to have a bigger family, we'd have that option. So we waited the few days and I got a phone call saying that, 2 of the embryos, unfortunately, they didn't make it. So you have these 3 left. Normally, we'd wait, I can't remember now, but X amount of days before doing the implant. But because 2 of them didn't make it, we're wondering if perhaps you'd like to do the implant now because there are these 3. And so we scheduled it because I was like, yes, if that's the best chance for success.
Hmm.
So by the time I went there was the 1 embryo. So we just had the 1 embryo. And
So between that phone call and you coming there, 2 more did not make it. So you
Mhm.
have one remaining that
One
actually is
remaining.
holding.
Yes, one little one remaining. And so we went ahead and we, it was such a magical experience because
That's magical, yeah.
you're just so astonished by the power of the human body. Like it was just such an incredible experience when we did the implant, because there's just an overwhelming sense of gratitude for what we're able to do now. And so that waiting for the phone call after the blood test, once you wait and then you go for blood, and then that waiting for that phone call was like this roller coaster of anticipation. And I remember getting the phone call. I was with my mom, so my partner was at work, and I knew this would be the day I would get the phone call. And I wanted to share it with someone. So I was laying on the couch, sort of napping, and the phone rang, and my mom runs into the room, and I said hello, and the first thing she said was, it was successful. And I started, just letting all the emotions run. Um, it was a really, really exciting moment for us. And I couldn't believe that, we had this one embryo, and we were able to find success the first time. And it was from there another, long few months of, I had some things come up in pregnancy, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world. It was just um, this moment of realizing that this whole new chapter is opening. This whole new era of expansion is going to be happening. And the journey of pregnancy was tough, but it was also, like, I look back on it now as such a pivotal moment in my life. So it was a roller coaster to get there, but it all worked out so beautifully in the end, and I could not be more
Mm,
thankful for everything that we experienced.
that's
So
beautiful. And who did you receive as the personality of your child? Because that is a complete question mark. You don't know until that starts to reveal over the first years or so, right?
yes,
So,
yes.
what kind of personality does your child have?
Such a great question. Um, it's this age, so he's 3.5 now. He will tell you 3 3/4, but he is really in that stage of owning who he is. So it's a perfect time for that question. He's very much a combination of our both of our demeanors. He's a very calm, easygoing, um, curious. He knows what he wants, and that's something that I really want to nurture in him as he grows. Because looking back, I know that's something that I lost somewhere along the way, but he has that very strongly, and so that's definitely a quality I hope he holds on to. And he is so loving. Um, Up until about 3, he was a very kind human, but now he's really learning how to express his love and express his appreciation for things. And so it's a really fun age. I just really love watching him blossom into his personality.
That's gorgeous. That's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really, really love your motherhood journey. It's amazing. So my next series of questions revolves more around your many layers of your business because everything turns around holistic, natural remedies and approach. How would you define your business and how would you define your ideal client?
Hmm. Yeah, so currently my business revolves around um, women and mothers who are looking for more peace, balance, and authenticity in their motherhood journey and also in life. Because when you become a mom, as you know, there's sort of a new level of busy that happens. And I found in my first few months of motherhood that I was I was just swimming. I couldn't figure out how I wanted to show up as a mom and how I wanted to embrace my authenticity while being in this you're in a new way of being, right? So what I love to support women in is tuning back into their inner wisdom, And we can do that through the mindfulness coaching, through yoga nidra, and also offering them tools that they're able to use for, as an example, like essential oils for emotional support, tools that they're able to use in their day-to-day life, as well as creating rituals around how they want to embody their intentions so that they are always feeling like their self is cared for, their hopes and dreams are cared for, and they're also showing up as a mom the way that they envisioned. So for many moms, it's, I want to be more present in the moments that I do have with my children because, I work, my kids go to school, we have these activities, but the moments that we have together, I want to know how to be more present so that I'm taking the most advantage I can of the time that we have together. And so that's where the mindfulness practices come in, and the really understanding their heartfelt desires, because often we don't take the time or space to explore that. And so that's something that I've become really passionate about, is creating that intentional space for busy moms who are craving more than the daily routine. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that. It's so important because it is really diving deep into who you connect most with, which often is a previous version of yourself. It happens to be. It's interesting when you think about that because it is what we understand most. And when we understand that most, and we understand that when we are a few steps ahead, we can turn back and say, hey, I can give you a little hand because I just went that path and I can really give you some tips and tricks and you can follow me.
Yes.
And that makes it like so exciting. It doesn't mean that you are at the end of your journey at all. It just means that, you
No.
know what, that's just ahead, a few steps of your
Yes.
client.
Yes, I love how you put that into words. And yeah, it's always evolving. Like I don't practice homeopathic medicine anymore, but it still has, informed my life. And then I evolved into creating a different toolkit. Um, and it sort of enhanced my, my motherhood journey. So it's turning around and saying, okay, everyone who's starting their motherhood journey, this is how, I was able to nurture myself and nurture my family. So I would love to share that and be able to serve others. And so, yes, I love how you say it's always evolving and growing. And I think it's just such a beautiful way to serve others, is by sharing your
That's gorgeous.
experience. Mhm.
Wow. Nice. That sounds absolutely amazing. Jen, what is your singing journey? Because with such a beautiful voice, is that a gift or is that something that you trained for so long and now anytime you sing, it just comes out so gorgeous?
Oh, thank you so much. This singing journey is me embracing my authenticity, because I have, since a small child, I've loved to sing. And it wasn't until my son was born that I reconnected with that. Um, I took his um, showing up in my life as an opportunity to start to embrace my own dreams, passions, and desires so that I could
Mm.
encourage him to do the same and inspire him to do the same. So when he was born, I said, I'm going to take the first step, and I'm going to start showing up in this way, in ways that bring me joy. So my first step was to connect with a musician that I've known and start taking vocal lessons.
Okay.
So after about a year of taking vocal lessons, I started to um, have this really strong desire to write songs. So my next step was to practice writing and keep going with the singing. So it's only been about 2 years, maybe not quite 2 years, that I've embraced this journey. And
Mm.
it's been incredible. And I'm so excited to see where it goes. Mhm.
Do you play an instrument when you sing or you sing along?
I sing, just sing. I had some training in piano when I was younger, but it's been a really long time since I've practiced the piano. So singing, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
yeah,
what is beautiful, I'm thinking right now about the saxophone because it's also like an extension of singing to really convey emotions on an other level of communication, which I love so much. This is what I love most with music, by the way.
I
When
love
you
it.
are able to connect at a different level than the language,
Yes,
and we can actually stir emotions the one we want as a performer and really like touch those specific, I would say strings, because it's like, okay, which strings did you touch in me? Wow, okay. And
yes,
suddenly you see the audience suddenly tearing up, or you see them smiling, or you see them like jaw dropping, like, what did you just do?
yes.
And things like that. And that is absolutely a
Mm,
gift that is so, so dear to my heart as well. This is why I can recognize it in you.
I love that.
It's absolutely amazing. It
I
truly is.
love that. Yes, I was so excited to hear that you had such a deep connection with the music too. And um, I was able to hear a little bit, and it was beautiful. It's absolutely
Mm.
beautiful.
I did on TikTok, I did recently, I think, I'm not sure on which channel I did that, probably Real Talk with Women. I just picked up the violin, so the electric violin, and I played along Kaigo. Kaigo is so talented.
Oh,
It's like so talented. He's a young man. I mean, I don't know. We have probably, I don't know, 15 years of difference of age or something like that. He's so talented. He knows and he perceives. And one of his music he has put on TikTok was like, okay, so here is an improv. Na, 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 na. Now play along. I want to see you. I was there. Oh, I can do that. Okay, let me put on the camera on a stand. He took my violin and I trained, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 times to find a good tune to it. And I improved with him and I posted that on TikTok.
oh, that's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see that. Good
Oh,
for
you
you.
can do that. That's so cool. When we
Wow.
are able to actually harmonize together.
Mm,
I
yeah.
like improv because this is where I'm the best at.
Wow.
Forever, since ever, forever. And this
Oh,
is how I came also with songwriting and really like turning that and
mm,
understanding that you finally opened up to that gift of music, that you finally started to write songs, meaning to
mm,
connect with that. There is some, so there is a science and an art in music. It's both. There is a very specific science that you follow in order for it to really sound good and with all the harmony and the mathematics behind. But there is also an art. How do you convey and how do
mhm,
you
mhm.
create the emotion?
Yes. Yes. I feel it's such a just such a beautiful vehicle to communicate in ways that we struggle using our just speaking. And like you said, it's just that feeling, those feelings that music can invoke um, to take us sort of to a different place. And
Hmm.
yes, I really feel like sharing this is a way, sharing my vocals and is a way to reach others that I wouldn't be able to reach otherwise, and uplifting in a way that I wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's yeah, I'm very grateful to be um, learning and starting into this arena of something that's been so dear for so long and I didn't embrace.
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah. So, thank
Hmm.
you.
That's gorgeous.
Thank
So we have the maternal mindfulness maven. This
you.
is how you have written your name on
Yes.
Instagram, and your handle, if you want to go super fast, is Jen Lynn Farkas. Jen, Gen, Lynn, Lynn, that version of it. Farkas, Farkas. Okay, and that is your
Yes.
Instagram for now.
Yes.
Whenever you change it and you tell me, we update the description. So in the description, there is a current one, but at the time of the recording, this is what it is.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you. You can find me
That's
there.
amazing. And my other question, just to make sure, and I'm going to find that out over here. Um, what are your other? You have 5 quick ways overwhelmed moms can find peace.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one
Yeah,
too.
that's a
And that's on
free.
your link tree, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And you can find that through my bio on Instagram. And yeah, there's a free resource there. I also offer free self compassion sessions. You can find that also in the link tree in my bio as well. And some of my current offerings supporting women and moms are in there as well.
Mm. And you also offer a 90 minutes deep dive breakthrough session.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to create some big moments, I believe. That's
Yes.
the idea of it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Amazing. Wow. Jen, Jen Lynn. Now I know your middle name as well. I'm so honored to have you, so honored to share and to uplift the world with your story, to bring back hope and that that pleasure of life when you actually manifest your deepest desire with love, in love. This is how I describe you.
Oh, thank you, Gemma. I am so, so, so honored to be a guest on this incredible podcast. And I appreciate you so much for what you do on Uplift.
Thank
This has
you.
been just an amazing conversation.
And that uplift show was born in the mind of my beloved husband, Sasha. You know that? We have that other show, Real Talk, Real Women, Breaking the Silence Around Abuse, when we really talk about hardship in relationship, when it does not work, and how to transform that in order for it to work, which is a different kind of story than yours, which is really like stirring up the desire to the point of manifesting it, but not in abuse at all. So this is why we are not talking about that. But when we got so much success with Real Talk, Real Women, my husband suddenly started to think and told me, you also meet other people who may or may not be women, who may or may not have prevailed over abuse, but do have uplifting stories. How
Mm.
about you create a second show?
Oh.
Uplift inspiring stories to uplift the world. So here is how we describe it. Uplift inspiring stories to uplift the world is a show, meaning a podcast and videocast because we are so distributed on social media that transcends cultures and borders to bring you the most heartwarming,
Mm.
Jen,
Mm.
uplifting, Jen, inspiring stories from around the globe. In a world where negativity can sometimes feel all encompassing, it's crucial to be reminded of the incredible capacity for goodness in humanity. Each week, we are going to share a new story of resilience, of courage, of triumph from a guest. These stories will leave you feeling inspired and uplifted as you witness the extraordinary things people are capable of achieving. This is what Uplift is about. This is why it's such a gorgeous match with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting this out into the world. It's such a gift for all. It's amazing.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Jen.
Thank you.
And maybe one of these next months you come back. That's a possibility. I open it up for possibilities.
I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mm.